They say, if you want to tell a story right, you gotta start at the beginning. Too far? Fine.
This sucks.
Birds of Prey and the something something or whatever of Harley Quinn is a mess of narration, a riot of glitter and slow-mo violence. To be honest, it's a great movie to chuck on in the background while you're doing some chores, and that's about it. But if you put down the vacuum and pay attention to the movie, you will notice that they basically just wanted to make a Harley Quinn movie, which raises the question, why didn't they? The characterization of the main cast for sure suffers from this, and for anyone familiar with the Birds of Prey from the comics, it just makes you want to scream at the TV, how did a hero ensemble movie get everyone wrong? Did they get anyone right? Let's start with a character who is from the original lineup of the Birds, Black Canary, joining the team in their original appearance back in Chuck Dixon's 1995 one-shot Black Canary / Oracle Birds of Prey. Now, Dinah Lance isn't done the worst injustice, it's just an underwhelming use of a character. She is a legacy hero with one foot in the Justice Society of America and the other with the Birds. Her mother, being the original Black Canary, casts a large shadow, meaning Dinah Lance was trained within the metahuman community and namely by Justice Society member Wildcat. This means Canary is also one of the best hand-to-hand fighters in the DC universe, which I don't think she's even the best hand-to-hand fighter in this movie. And even though Dinah doesn't rely on her powers, it's disappointing to see her star in her own movie and use a sonic scream once. It feels like this film is just scared to have her be a full-fledged hero, instead of opting for a vague backstory and an underwritten character. There is so much that could be done with her, and it's not even like audiences aren't familiar with Black Canary as a hero, considering she has appeared in multiple cartoons and is a playable character in Injustice 2. We just didn't need this watered-down version of a hero generations of fans are very familiar with. Helena Bertinelli is maybe the most underrated character in the Bat family next to Signal, and joins the ranks of Red Hood as one of the black sheep of the Wayne family and friends. If you read Cry for Blood by Greg Rucka, you get a complex woman battling both literal mobsters and internal demons. She's angry, religious, and violently precise. Like a deadly daredevil, her family and Catholic roots result in a one-woman war against organized crime. And yet, they get the origin mostly right. Family murdered in front of her, trained by assassins, crossbow fetish, but the movie gives us a sitcom character. Mary Elizabeth Winstead might be funny in this role, but Huntress isn't supposed to be funny. She's a loner with a vengeance kill list, not an awkward ninja who struggles with social cues. They take a character who should be chillingly competent and make her comic relief. It undercuts everything that makes her a dark mirror to Batgirl or Nightwing in the comics, and there's literally no mention of a complicated connection to Batman. As with a lot of these characters, I don't even know why they bothered with including Renee Montoya in this film. Montoya's arc in the comics is one of the best slow burn transformations in the DC canon. In Gotham Central by Greg Rucka and Ed Brubaker, she's a tough, morally grounded detective fighting a losing battle against systemic corruption. Then, in 52, she inherits the mantle of the Question after Vic Sage dies, arguably one of the most interesting character glow-ups in canon. In the movie, we get a cop who walks out of a 1980s buddy cop parody. Rosie Perez tries her best, but Montoya is written like she was stitched together from police clichés. She drinks too much, shouts all of her lines, and then gets undercut by a punchline wardrobe gag. Although it's not necessary, if you're including Renee Montoya, it would be cool to have a hint of her future as the Question. Or just have her as the Question. I don't understand why we're shying away from the coolest versions of all of these characters. But there's no internal conflict, no deeper purpose. She's just here to fill space. Now for one of the biggest disappointments on this list. If Renee was just here to fill space, this version of Cassandra Cain is a waste of space. Comic fans will already know where I'm going with this. Cass is one of the best modern entries into the Bat family. Being raised in the League of Assassins, her father, David Cain, is an early mentor to Bruce, and her mother is known as the deadliest woman alive, Lady Shiva. After turning on the League, Cassandra is adopted by Bruce. Having grown to later take on the mantles of Batgirl, Black Bat, and Orphan, during her time in the League of Assassins, she was deprived of speech and human contact through her training to become the world's greatest assassin. As a result, Cassandra developed the ability to read body language to the point of effectively reading minds while still remaining mostly mute. If you want to read more about her and how she operates with her Bat siblings, she plays a significant part in 2015's Batman and Robin Eternal. And it's also just fun to see her pack up her Bat brothers, Nightwing and Red Hood. Now for the movie, we get a talkative pickpocket with zero combat skills, no League of Assassins past, and no Bat family connections. The less I talk about how they butchered our girl, the better. Having a look at the villain of the piece, Roman Sionis, aka Black Mask. Roman Sionis is one of Gotham's most depraved crime lords, emphasis on depraved. His origin in Batman number 386, written by Doug Moonch, paints him as a spoiled heir to a cosmetics empire who then murders his parents, ruins a family business, and wears a mask made from his father's coffin as a rejection of vanity and the societal mask that he hated so much. By the time we get to arcs like Batman War Games and Batman Under the Red Hood, Sionis is the type of villain other villains are scared of. He's known for psychological and physical torture. He mutilates Catwoman's brother-in-law and feeds the pieces of him to her sister in 2002's Catwoman series, tortured Stephanie Brown to death, and gleefully indulges in humiliation and power games. None of that menace survives the film. Ewan McGregor gives a performance that's fun in isolation but wildly inaccurate. He plays Roman as a narcissistic brat with mood swings and a color-coordinated wardrobe. Sure, he's violent, but it's surface level. It's more temper tantrums rather than terror. Ewan McGregor leans hard into the camp. There's flair, sure, but there's no fear. His Sionis throws tantrums, makes fashion threats, and defers to Victor Zsasz for any real sense of menace. The mask is cosmetic, the menace is performative. This Black Mask isn't the kingpin of Gotham's underworld, but I will give it to him. He does have a pretty cool death scene.
Brutality.
Okay, now the one that they actually put in the title. The one who hijacked the movie so hard it barely remembered it was supposed to be about the birds of prey as well. But here's the thing, Harley Quinn is actually the most comic accurate character in the film, and she still doesn't belong. Let's rewind. Harley was born in Batman the Animated Series, not the comics, but once she crossed onto the page, she took off like a rocket. Look at Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti's run. The Harley solo series from 2014 and 2016 is loud, violent, meta, and gleefully off the wall. Harley Quinn at a roller derby? That's in the movie. Harley Quinn breaking up with the Joker to run her own form of chaos? That's in the movie. Harley as a pet hyena? That's in the movie. Those are all direct lifts. Harley Quinn Volume 2 to 3 are basically the film's playbook. The real issue isn't Harley herself, it's that she's the sun the rest of the characters are forced to orbit, and that warps everything else. In the comics, Harley is a wild card, best used in contrast to structure. She's the unpredictable foil to characters like Batman or Deadshot. Here, she's driving the story, and that leaves no room for anyone else to breathe. So yeah, Harley is, ironically, the most faithful adaptation in this whole movie, but she's also the reason that none of this works. Let's go back to the title team, the Birds of Prey. In the comics, this team tends to be built around the leadership of Barbara Gordon, Black Canary, and Huntress. The team is built on trust, strategy, and years of camaraderie. In the movie, these women barely know each other. They team up out of necessity and almost all of them split up immediately after. There's no mission here, and because it's built around Harley instead of Barbara, this is effectively not the Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn is not a team player. That's not a flaw, it's fundamental to who she is. So when she suddenly becomes the ringleader of Gotham's most competent covert ops girl gang, it doesn't feel earned. It feels like branding, it feels like a marketing department rearranging the chessboard and calling it character development. And look, if they wanted to make a Harley Quinn movie, that's fine. They have Margot Robbie, arguably the best thing to come out of Suicide Squad. But Harley doesn't belong on a team like this, especially not when that team already has its own legacy. If you're going to include Renee Montoya, at least give her the weight and moral conflict that hints at her future as the question. And if you're gonna use Black Canary, embrace her origins, the legacy hero, the martial artist, the heart of the team. Don't be afraid to let her be a superhero. And for Huntress, let her be scary. Let her be the Batman that kills, not the comic relief. And if you're gonna include Cassandra Cain, one of the most layered and tragic characters in the Bat family, maybe she should actually resemble Cassandra Cain. And Black Mask, a villain with so much unhinged psychotic potential reduced to a catty fashion-obsessed mobster with none of the bite, it's all surface with no scars. The problem isn't reinvention, it's disconnection. These aren't just different takes on these characters. They're disconnected shadows of what made these characters iconic in the first place.